Tonight, the danger from wildfires spreads in Alberta.
I've never, ever experienced this before, ever. All of Alberta is burning.
Exhausted communities, new evacuations, and the smoke now blanketing a province. WestJet pilots ready to strike. Passengers brace for turbulence.
I hope it will not gonna be big disruptions.
A little worried about how I'm gonna get back.
And the side eye raising eyebrows at the Rogers Centre.
What is that?
Where's he looking?
This is The National with Chief Correspondent Adrian Arsenault.
More Albertans have had to pack up their things tonight and run from danger. Wildfires in that province now pose a critical question for all. How long can they hold back the fire and fear? Firefighters, including those pulled in from other provinces, are stretched thin. 24 out-of-control fires prompting 21 evacuation orders, forcing more than 19,000 Albertans from their homes. And as Katie Nicholson shows us, the struggle now is keeping up the fight as Alberta burns.
The dense smoke that shrouded northern Alberta now sits heavy over Calgary.
It's a real hazard.
And in the noses and throats of the people who live there.
I left my windows open last night, and of course my apartment is now full of smoke, so it's not nice.
Hundreds of kilometers north, closer to the source of some of that smoke, Dave Banman's restaurant prepares to feed firefighters and evacuees.
I wanted to cry, like really, it breaks my heart to see them displaced like that, you know, and not knowing if they're gonna be able to go home.
High Level has been inundated with fire evacuees from the east, the west, and now even the north.
I've never, ever experienced this before, ever. I mean, we have fires all around us. I mean, all of Alberta is burning, and it's not a good thing. We need some rain, and we need it bad.
Rain would help, but from deep within the raging Rainbow Lake fire, a request for more.
Everything. Like the whole kitchen sink. We're gonna need more people, we're gonna need more airplanes, we're gonna need more everything.
Right now, dozens of crews from across Canada are helping out in Alberta. But with new fires sparking up in other provinces, there are fears some of those assets may have to leave. The Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Centre says it's on it.
We're currently investigating other options from our other partners in New Zealand, Australia, Mexico, and South Africa.
Within Alberta, fire-ravaged communities are pulling together. The High Level Animal Shelter is at capacity and desperately trying to place four-legged evacuees.
Some of the animals are brought with their own food and bedding. Others just come with the fur on their back.
In Fox Lake, the chief and dozens of volunteers cross the river nightly to feed the animals they had to leave behind. A small act of compassion in a time of crisis.
So, Katie, there is some good news out of Alberta tonight.
Yeah, so just under 20,000 people out of their homes, and another evacuation order for Swan Hill. That's another 1,300 people. But some people in Brazeau County and Drayton Valley being allowed back to their properties today. You might remember that's the area where the Canadian Armed Forces was working. They were digging deep into the soil, trying to dig up those burning pockets of fire. So a small indication that some of these mitigation efforts are starting to work.
All right, it's something. Katie Nicholson, thank you. In the Northwest Territories, Hay River and the nearby First Nations community of Katlodiche remain under evacuation. Some evacuees have lost homes.
It's gone, so I got no home to go home to, and that's not good.
At last report, firefighters said 15 structures in Katlodiche were damaged, but that was 24 hours ago, and the fire remains out of control. If you are planning to fly WestJet this long weekend, you might be out of luck. Its pilots have issued a strike notice. The airline says it's ready to lock them out. Kyle Bax tells us what this all means for travelers and what they can do about it.
The clock is now ticking on whether labor strife will ground the majority of WestJet and Swoop planes this weekend and leave passengers in limbo.
A little worried about how I'm going to get back with the looming strike coming up on Friday.
I hope will not gonna be big disruptions.
After 9 months of negotiations, there's still no deal between Canada's second largest airline and its pilots. The union issued a strike notice, and the company is threatening a lockout.
I've always used WestJet. They're my favorite. They've always been the easiest.
All bets are off on Kim Lattonville's long weekend trip to Vegas. She's heartbroken knowing it's in jeopardy.
This has been months in the works for planning, and it's all up in the air at the last moment.
In the lead up to the deadline, WestJet says it's waiving the cost for changes or cancellations for those flying May 15th to the 21st. But the difference in fares would apply. Passengers, though, could be entitled to more according to the Passenger Bill of Rights. When an airline cannot provide a flight within 48 hours of the original departure time, the carrier must, at the passenger's choice, provide a refund or make alternative travel arrangements for passengers free of charge.
Their priority will be, 7 days beyond the projected strike dates. Expect a message from WestJet with an offer either of a new flight on another carrier or offer of a refund.
The union is seeking better job security, flexible schedules, and improved pay.
We're just trying to get a compensation package that will keep our pilots at WestJet. So right now we're losing pilots to all the other airlines in Canada, as well as down into the States.
WestJet says it has offered a fair deal and regrets the inconvenience and uncertainty for passengers. Negotiations continue, but if a deal isn't reached by Friday, most passengers and planes will be grounded. Kyle Bax, CBC News, Calgary.
The new inflation numbers out tonight actually surprised economists. So Canada's inflation rate ticked up last month to 4.4%. It was expected to keep falling, as it has been for nearly a year. So what's driving that increase? Well, gas prices, rent, and mortgage costs. Nisha Patel shows us how Canadians are already feeling the pinch and why relief could be a little further away than we think.
For many Canadians, housing is the biggest monthly expense.
Everything going up, we have to be prepared to the rent will go up too.
Prices for rent and groceries. Yeah, that's so high.
And in April, those expenses rose even higher. Mortgage interest costs jumped 28%. Rent climbed 6%, driving an unexpected rise in Canada's inflation rate.
Honestly, rent has been an issue, especially in the non-rent controlled buildings.
The rent situation, it's the cheapest we can find in the city. It's not the best, but it's not like we can afford to move at the moment.
It's an unfortunate byproduct of interest rate hikes, but the Bank of Canada says a necessary one to slow spending and cool the economy. And that may take some time. Despite the higher cost of living, economists say demand is still high.
Canadians also went through a period where they were saving a lot of their money during the pandemic. So we're getting that revenge spending as people go back to restaurants and travel.
There has been progress in the fight against inflation. Gas prices are lower than the highs of a year ago. Grocery bills are not rising as fast as before. From its peak of 8.1% last June, the overall inflation rate has been cut in half, though there's still work to be done.
To get the rest of the way to 2% is a tougher road to hoe, and it'll probably entail a rising unemployment rate, a slowing economy.
Earlier this month, the central bank governor stressed that further interest rate hikes aren't off the table.
If we start to see signs that inflation is likely to get stuck materially above our 2% target, we are prepared to raise rates further.
So for Canadians feeling squeezed by high prices and high interest rates, there may be more pain to come. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is in South Korea as part of a week-long visit to Asia. And Trudeau will meet with President Yoon Suk-yeol to discuss security issues and economic ties between the two countries. But a controversy back in Ontario is looming over those talks. The planned electric vehicle battery plant in Ontario currently on hold due to a dispute over federal funding. South Korean battery maker LG is a partner in that project. Conservative MP Michael Chong testified tonight to a House of Commons committee on the threats he says he and his family faced from China. Rafi Boudjikanian has Chong's outrage over the government's handling of alleged interference from Beijing and his calls for change.
As an outspoken critic of the Chinese government, Conservative MP Michael Chong suspected he was being targeted by Beijing.
I have received threats that I believe may be related to the PRC, and I'll just leave it at that. One of the incidences involved something that happened in the last federal election campaign.
But he did not expect to learn about threats to his family in Hong Kong through the media.
We should not be finding these things out from the Globe and Mail.
Earlier this month, the Globe and Mail reported Chinese diplomat Zhao Wei was seeking information on Chong's loved ones, targeting him for denouncing Beijing's human rights record in 2021. The government kicked Zhao out of Canada last week. The catch is CSIS knew for 2 years and no action was taken. The government says cabinet ministers never got the memo, though the spy agency did send it to high-ranking civil servants.
If one is to take the Prime Minister at his word, then clearly there was a breakdown in the machinery of government.
The reporting also indicated other MPs were threatened as well. Unclear if they've now all been briefed. The Minister of Public Safety unable to clarify.
We get that question often from the press. I am not in a position to talk about individual cases because of the Security of Information Act.
CBC News has confirmed CSIS has approached at least the NDP's Jenny Kwan and former Conservative leader Aaron O'Toole, and Chong has his own ideas for solutions.
All British MPs were alerted via email 2 years ago by the Speaker about 2 individuals acting as agents of the Russian Federation.
That level of disclosure, not something that happens in Canada, but a new directive from the Public Safety Department in May requires CSIS to brief MPs who are threatened individually and report to the minister, something the Conservatives say should have been put in place long ago. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Ottawa.
And Conservatives are also among those pushing for stricter bail laws in this country. And tonight, the Liberal government says it's proposing just that, a move that would make it tougher for some to get released on bail. David Thurton explains.
After months of political pressure, the federal government says it's ready to change the bail system.
A person should not be out on bail if they have a history of violence.
The Justice Minister proposing new targeted reforms. If passed, in violent crimes involving weapons, repeat offenders will need to prove why they should get bail. Judges can consider an accused's history and community safety, and other firearm offenses will also be more heavily scrutinized, a reversal of the current model where the prosecution has to prove the accused shouldn't be released.
You are innocent until proven guilty. This is a critically important part of our legal system. But what we're doing for certain violent offenses is changing the default position.
A change in position after this OPP constable was shot and killed in December. The accused was out on bail. Police and provinces call for change.
The preliminary advice I've received is that it addresses many of the issues that were raised by British Columbia and the premiers.
I have a certain sense, though, that the premiers and the provinces were listened to.
This will not fix that problem.
Conservatives want Liberals to go further.
Major overhaul is needed in the catch and release policies that Trudeau and Minister Lametti brought forward in the last number of years.
But pressure to be tough on crime could be driving the government's justice agenda, some worry.
It's important for us to separate hysteria from facts, and public policy has to be developed on facts, evidence.
Police associations welcome the proposed changes, saying Canada needs a balanced approach which prevents crime but also holds those who commit it accountable. David Thurton, CBC News, Ottawa.
The leader of the People's Party of Canada has been ordered to pay more than $2,000 for violating COVID-19 restrictions in Manitoba.
I decided to have an agreement in the facts to save money for the taxpayer here in Manitoba.
Maxime Bernier admitted to 2 charges of breaking public health orders, saying he was cutting down on court time that would have been required to fight them. He was charged in June of 2021 for for attending rallies with more people than were allowed at the time. Now, U.S. senators are weighing an urgent call from a leader in the world of artificial intelligence tonight. They were told at a special hearing that AI needs to be regulated and reined in. Paul Hunter has more on the not-so-subtle warnings about what's next if that doesn't happen.
Be it these images of Donald Trump depicting an arrest that never happened, faked by artificial intelligence.
The markets are in free fall as
This anti-Joe Biden ad depicting made-up scenarios if he's reelected.
Officials closed the city of San Francisco this morning, citing the escalating crime.
Also faked by AI, or this song by an AI-faked Drake and The Weeknd. Artificial intelligence is now so good it's hard to tell what's real and what isn't, and it's sounding alarm bells for U.S. lawmakers.
My worst fears are that we, the field, the technology, the industry, cause significant harm to the world.
Sam Altman, a pioneer in the now exploding world of AI. His resume includes creating the AI text generator ChatGPT, testified to U.S. senators, along with other AI experts, that the technology's potential for disinformation and manipulation needs government oversight.
Given that we're going to face an election next year and these models are getting better, I think this is a significant area of concern.
These new systems are going to be destabilizing. They can and will create persuasive lies at a scale humanity has never seen before.
In hearing the urgent call for federal regulation, U.S. lawmakers acknowledged their weak track record on such stuff demands that they now step it up.
Congress failed to meet the moment on social media. Now we have the obligation to do it on AI before the threats and the risks become real.
The experts also underlined that these are still early days for artificial intelligence. For example, it's not yet self-aware, but they said it will get better, it will get more powerful. And so the time to regulate, they said, is now. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Washington.
Recently, we told you the story of some healthcare workers in Kenya hoping to start a new life working here in Canada. Well, tonight, an update.
I know what it feels like, I know that someone's life stops.
Why some are starting to wonder whether they will ever get a chance. Next.
What is that? Where's he looking?
The little glance that's got Blue Jays fans up in arms. And a little later, an unexpected find during a swim in Mexico.
It's a simple gold band, but it just sparkled. It obviously is brand new.
The Alberta man who reunited the ring with its newlywed owners. We are back in 2.
We're getting attacked with hypersonic missiles right now in Kyiv. Ooh.
That is a night sky over Kyiv flashing with explosions during an unusually intense Russian barrage, which Ukraine says included 7 hypersonic missiles. But Kyiv says all were intercepted. Russian officials, however, claim the opposite, saying that all the missiles hit their targets, including a U.S.-supplied Patriot air defense system. It's unclear if any of those Patriots were damaged in the assault. Here in Canada, in BC's busiest ER, a group of doctors are blowing the whistle. They say their concerns about patient safety and staffing shortages are going ignored. Renee Filipponi now with why they're going public.
Doctors working inside Surrey Memorial Hospital say it's in crisis. They say patients are dying while waiting in the emergency room because there are not enough beds, not enough staff, and no one is listening to their concerns. They have written an open letter. One of the doctors involved spoke with CBC News. We are withholding his identity and concealing his voice over concerns of retribution from his employer.
After seeing patients who were being harmed and in some cases dying, we felt it necessary to come to the media and inform the public.
How does it feel to work under these conditions?
Most of our job satisfaction comes from wanting to help patients. And when we have an inability to help patients the way we know we can, it's distressing.
There were warnings from doctors last week that Langley Memorial was on the brink of collapse, and similar concerns from hospitals across the country.
the whole profession, emergency physicians around the province right now are feeling that same level of frustration.
The Fraser Health Authority denies patient safety is at risk, but admits there is a strain on the system for a number of reasons.
One is due to increased demand, and also another is due to aging population. And also we've been seeing health human resource challenges.
The province says it will continue to invest in the healthcare system to address these issues.
More medical school spaces, more recruitment of internationally educated doctors, and we're going to work with doctors.
Change can't happen fast enough for Surrey residents who have been inside the ER today.
There's everyone in the hallway waiting in their beds. All the rooms are filled, all the chairs are filled, and there's people walking around all the time.
Staff is good, but need more doctors because too much population need more hospitals.
A system many rely on in a crisis facing its own emergency. Renee Filipponi, CBC News, Vancouver.
One potential solution to Canada's healthcare crisis is a program aimed at recruiting international workers to help fill the void. But as Kayla Hounsell shows us, there is growing concern some of those workers will never arrive.
I'm Bahati. Going to be the nurse taking care of you today.
Bahati Maganjo says her passion for working in healthcare was fueled by the reality of war.
Constantly, I would think, if war broke out where I am, what would I have to contribute?
Born just weeks before the 1994 Rwandan genocide, she lived her entire life in Kenya as a refugee. That is, until she came to Nova Scotia to be a healthcare worker 2 years ago.
Just take deep breaths, okay?
She was one of the very first under a new federal program designed to recruit skilled refugees to help ease Canada's shortage of workers. But many more are still waiting.
I know what it feels like, I know that someone's life stops.
I actually don't know when I will actually go.
We first introduced you to Patricia Kamsor last month. She's a refugee in Kenya and has been waiting to come to Canada for more than 2 years. She has a job offer to work at this new nursing home in Mahone Bay, but she can't come until she gets her permanent residency from the federal government.
So now we're coming to a corridor.
Tina Henniger is the company's settlement coordinator. She says people here know they need healthcare workers and we're excited to welcome them. But the workers should have already been here by now.
Some of the community members as well maybe seem a little skeptical, like, is this actually going to happen?
What do you know about the reasons for the delay?
I believe it's in the hands of our federal partners with IRCC.
Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada says it aims to process the majority of cases linked to this program within 6 months, but that cases may be delayed for a variety of reasons.
I find myself wanting to tell them to just hang in there.
Maganjo is calling on the government to see the urgency in the people still waiting.
And thank you very much for what you've done.
Oh, you're most welcome. Yeah.
As well as the desperate need for more healthcare workers in this country. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, New Glasgow, Nova Scotia.
A lack of affordable housing is pushing many Canadians to the edge. Some are left with few options to keep a basic roof over their head.
So how long has it been then without a bathroom?
Over a year.
Susanna Da Silva takes us to a building many say is the last stop before the street. And a mother's struggle to look after her son.
Like I was dying. You can't do 24/7 care.
The difficult choice to bring him home and her dream of building an inclusive community. The National takes you deeper into the story shaping our world. Next. After Vancouver police cleared out the homeless encampments on the downtown east side last month, we wanted to know what happened when the cameras and media attention went away. Where did people go? How did they find housing? Well, those worries led us to Boomer, a man killed in a fire after an electrical closet became his only real housing option. And those worries also led us to derelict hotels where rooms are rented by the month. In housing lingo in Vancouver, they're called SRO, single room occupancy. Susanna Da Silva went there and found residents one step from being on the streets again.
These halls look like they're in a building that has been abandoned for months or years.
So this bathroom doesn't work at all. Since we have lived here, I lived here like 4 years. Can't drink the water. I drank the water once, got giardia, deadly sick. So they can't drink the water from here at all.
So how long has it been then without a bathroom?
Over a year. Over a year.
But along with that musty smell, there's the smell of freshly cut plywood. These rooms boarded up only days before, the people inside pushed out. Bob Stewart is one of only 3 tenants left.
We had no front door at one time. I had to pay for a new front door myself, put a new front door, because we had no front door at all. And people just come in when it's cold out, and as you can see, just kind of hang out and doodle on the walls and do what they do, right?
Stewart says after a difficult divorce, he could only afford the $700 he's paid for this room. A year ago, his girlfriend Michaela moved down here to be with him. They stopped paying rent several months ago once the bathrooms stopped working.
I'm shocked every day, every single day at the stuff people live through or have been through.
Not bad people, just in a bad situation.
A bad situation that just got worse.
He put a decommissioning order on our doors a week and a half ago and said we had to be open 3 days. All tenants had to be open 3 days.
That order on behalf of the owner, a numbered company through a property manager. Well, this 9-unit building has the most fire and health safety violations of any building in Vancouver. The city says the tenants do not have to leave the building. The order was illegal. But then residents say came new notices and new incentives to leave.
Some people give them $1,200, and they got their damage deposit back. So basically, it was giving them $800 or something to. But that was in the middle of the month. Most of them are just couch surfing or living in the street. Or
to ensure the safety and security of all tenants, any vacant units are being temporarily boarded up, like more affordable.
Missy Silas says she's been subletting from a friend for a year and a half, but the landlord said that was not allowed. So her room was boarded up, her belongings still inside.
I could care less about my stuff right now. I want everybody to not be kicked out of here.
She says she's been down here since she was 14, when she fled abusive foster care after her drug-addicted father died.
You can't keep your life in order. It's pretty impossible because if you don't have a safe place to go, it's not safe on the streets here. It's not safe in the downtown east side. It's not safe in this building. But, it's in somewhere inside, right?
For now, she's trying to stay inside by couch surfing with friends.
We tried to speak to the property management company that issued the eviction orders, but they refused. Instead, they sent a statement saying that none of the evictions were illegal, that the people they forced out were not paying rent or were trespassers that had caused excessive damage, costing more than $100,000 in repairs.
The city calls single-room occupancy buildings, or SROs, the last housing option before homelessness. But half of the city's 7,000 units are privately owned, leaving the city with little power. It can't even mandate rent control on these units. That was overturned by the courts.
Landlords are profiting off of the displacement of poor and working class tenants. Those have always been
Jess Goot is a volunteer with the Vancouver Tenants Union.
There's a lot of financial incentive for landlords to clear out a low-income building and flip it into something like micro-suites.
And what happens when SROs in the city with shared kitchens and bathrooms are renovated? Advocates say rents skyrocket.
This is a small building.
Yeah.
But what does it represent?
Yeah, this is only a few units, but this is happening every day in the city. We just don't often see it.
While governments have promised more than 400 new housing units will be available for downtown Eastside residents in the next few months, advocates claim more than 1,000 have recently been lost or are at risk of disappearing. And the real number is likely much higher.
How soon do you think you're going to have to be out of here?
I'm not sure. I'm sure he'll push through and probably within a week, 10 days maybe. I really don't know. With the way it is now, we're more than willing to leave, but we don't have anywhere to go.
So, Susie, what's happening now with the tenants still in the building?
Both the tenants and the owner have applied to the residential tenancy branch for a hearing, but the tenants say they are feeling the pressure to get out. BC is working on a plan to redevelop or replace deteriorating SROs. But in the meantime, the City of Vancouver says it's aware of possible evictions at 3 other SROs in the downtown east side.
But it isn't just tenants in that part of the city facing high numbers of evictions, right?
No, a recent UBC study has pegged BC as the eviction capital of Canada, with the number of renters who experienced an eviction at no fault of their own at twice the national average. Adrian?
All right, Susanna De Silva in Vancouver, thank you. When we come back, a Nova Scotia mom struggled to care for her high-needs son and her dream of what life could look like for him.
And then I thought, well, I'm going to build a whole community for Ryan in there.
Her mission to build a better life for Ryan, next. Adequate housing has been called a human right, and yet for some Canadians living with disabilities, those are still just hollow words. In Nova Scotia, the last jurisdiction in Canada to close large institutions, people are particularly desperate. Tonight, Tom Murphy has the story of one mom who is taking matters into her own hands.
This is a tale of a mother's extraordinary love for her son, offering hope where, for so long, there has been none. Ryan Mills has lived most of his life in the shadows of society. His adult life spent in group homes and in institution. His mother, Susan Harvey, believes his life could be so much better. And the dream? A so-called pocket community.
The pocket community design is a circle of houses with a courtyard in the middle and a sidewalk. And it has an amenity house or a common house for hanging out, maybe a cafe. And the vehicles are parked on the exterior of this little community, not in the inside, so there's a whole safety element as well. So I could picture Ryan running out of his house and running around the circle and coming into the common house, and it sounds like almost utopian, but why not?
Of course, it's called Ryan's Park. Susan's son Ryan is living with severe autism. Overwhelming anxiety can cause him to bang his head against walls. He doesn't sleep much. He needs 24/7 care.
Can you use your card? Can you show me this one? You want a cookie with your coffee?
It's why decades ago, Susan Harvey reluctantly agreed to put her son in the care of the province.
I became exhausted, and so after a number of years being a single mom and working, I couldn't keep him at home.
In the care of the province, he was medicated. His overall health worsened. Strangely, his belly began to balloon. Then, the pandemic struck.
That was the worst horror of my life. Because of COVID, I was afraid he was going to get it and die. He was in poor condition. He was way underweight. He looked like gray. He was not well for some reason. He has some physical disorder.
In desperation, Susan brought Ryan home. She Ryan-proofed her house, locking up pretty much everything. She padded the interior walls, including his bedroom.
When he's in his room here and he sees the gate, he knows that it's time to rest.
And because Ryan thrashes wildly at night,
so this room's all padded now. It's not very attractive.
She monitored him with cameras while, for months, she tried to get a few hours sleep outside in her woodshed. The stress of it all reduced her to a mere 100 pounds.
Okay, right, hang on. I didn't hire other people for a couple of months, and then I hired a person for the day, 8 to 4, Monday to Friday, to give me a bit of a break. Like, I was like dying. You just can't do 24/7 care. And it was horrifying.
Housing people with disabilities should not look like this, and everyone here knows it.
Nova Scotia's Court of Appeal has made a ruling in a case involving 3 people with disabilities who were...
The courts ruled 2 years ago the province's failure to offer meaningful access to housing services for people with disabilities amounts to a violation of their basic rights. After decades of government delays, Susan Harvey had a eureka moment.
Walking by here on one of my walks, because I had just moved to Kentville, and looked in and saw the for sale sign here and thought, wow, wouldn't it be amazing if I could build a house in there for Ryan and bring him out? And then I thought, well, I read this book on pocket communities, and I was like, well, I'm going to build a whole community for Ryan in there.
She talked about an idea that she had.
And it was one of those ideas that, you start to almost wiggle in your seat because there's so much more to it than what she's just saying. If what we're doing is no longer meeting the needs of our citizen, then we're not doing the right thing. So we have an opportunity here.
If only someone could give life to it. Susan Harvey found a developer who could do just that.
We don't want people in institutions any longer. We don't need that. Most people are good people. Like, if someone's down here in a wheelchair living in Unit 6, I think the guy next door will be happy to be his neighbor and be happy to help him when he needs help. That's probably the most important part, is the integration of the community and the integration of different people. And that's what's really special about this place.
And in that spirit, Ryan's Park rose from the ground, a one-of-its-kind housing development, a model for what could be.
You can't wait for the government to find it. They're not going to find it. You have to show them how to do it, and then they will they'll come on board, I believe.
What Ryan is doing is he's creating a different way of thinking. He's creating a passion in me and in others to change things, to create something new and wonderful.
Ryan often paces in circles. It's a stress reliever for him. And he's compulsive around food. If he sees it, he eats it. So this is Ryan's new house, soon-to-be house.
This is Ryan's little home.
His new house design.
And there will be a wall here with a door.
Will take all those traits into account.
So we could close it off during food preparation. But also, when those doors are open, it gives him the benefit of wandering space, because he loves to wander around a circle between rooms.
Ryan's mother can almost see her son living his new life here. But as for the future of Ryan's Park, it's about a year behind schedule. Construction costs have close to doubled, and the developer and owner has had problems finding work crews. Does a part of you worry it might not happen for Ryan?
Absolutely, yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Well, then I think, okay, do I start dreaming up something else?
That first.
Ryan now lives in his mother's house, tended to by 24-hour staff, paid for by the province. And Susan Harvey has had to permanently move out of her own home.
I'm very sad. I'm very sorrowful, because I'm stepping back, and of my age, I'm thinking, what have I been effective? What have I done? Ryan is still suffering.
So, Tom, she's holding it together, clearly, but it's also clear that this is really, really hard. What happens next for Ryan?
Yeah, well, the latest hope is that Ryan's Park will be ready by late fall. Now, the government says it'll support families in finding homes that best suit their loved ones' needs. But when asked if Ryan will be able to move into Ryan's Park and continue to receive the government supports he does now receive, a spokesperson would not comment on this particular case.
So the province also says, that it's been trying to phase out large institutional housing for a decade now. What's the progress on that?
Yeah, government bureaucrats insist that they are trying. I mean, it's a massive undertaking to find suitable housing. It's just that 10 years ago, a report called for all 8 institutions to close. None did. Then late last month, there was another report which aims to remedy what has been called a long-standing violation of human rights. One of the institutions is slated to close in a few months. The rest, according to the government now, sometime within 5 years, Adrian.
All right, Tom, thank you for staying on this.
You're welcome.
Coming up, just what was this New York Yankee slugger looking at? The sideways glance that has Blue Jays fans crying foul. Plus,
it's what it means to this couple. It's their wedding ring.
A precious symbol of love lost in the ocean and a mission to return it in our moment. Well, that's a pretty unusual play at a Little League game in Florida this weekend. Out of nowhere, the 7-year-old catcher got caught in a mini whirlwind you just saw there. It's known as a dust devil. Luckily, the teenage umpire quickly jumped into action and no one was hurt. To Major League Baseball now, where one of its best players is being accused of cheating against the Toronto Blue Jays. Thomas Dagler shows us what he did and why it is so contentious.
The King of New York in hot water in Toronto. Yankees slugger Aaron Judge facing allegations of cheating from the Blue Jays and their fans.
I think he was getting some kind of signal.
Oh, it'll be terrible for the game. Yeah, it's not how we want to play.
Designated hitter number 99, Aaron Judge.
The reigning American League MVP drew loud jeers Tuesday night at Rogers Center. Already the top star for one of the Jays' biggest rivals, he caused a stir Monday night when he was seen glancing towards the Yankees' dugout while at the plate.
Watch what he's looking at.
Yeah. What is that?
Where's he looking?
Where's he looking? And he did it more than once.
And then...
and he pummeled it.
This home run prompting Toronto to complain to league officials, suspecting Judge could be getting help stealing signs.
Seemed odd that his point of focus would leave the pitcher right before the pitch came.
In a game full of unwritten rules, stealing a catcher's signs is notoriously frowned upon. Just ask the Houston Astros. Their 2017 World Series win is forever tarnished over an entrenched scheme allowing the batter to know what pitch to expect. Astros-style electronic sign stealing is formally banned.
I don't expect anything.
But the Yankees insist what Judge did is allowed.
Our understanding, there's not going to be any kind of investigation because nothing that went on last night was against the rules.
And Mooney's hot.
In Toronto, the controversial glances came at a tension-filled moment as the Yankees manager was ejected with the Jays trailing. Judge claims he was just eyeing his teammates.
Yeah, it was kind of a lot of chirping from our dugout, which I really didn't like in the situation where it's a 6-0 game.
For Game 2 of the series, the hostility kept simmering. A new chapter in an old rivalry. Thomas Dagler, CBC News, Toronto.
All right, so Keith and Karen Bratt from Lethbridge, Alberta found this ring on the ocean floor while snorkeling in Mexico for their 30th anniversary. So thanks to their efforts and the power of social media, that ring, which didn't belong to them, is back in the hands of its owners. A symbol of love lost and now found is our moment.
It was our 30th anniversary and we were wondering what to do. And, we went snorkeling and right away I saw the ring. It really was kind of that scene in Lord of the Rings where you'll look down and it's just, you know, it's a simple gold band, but it just sparkled. Obviously it's brand new. They just got married. And I just posted it to my personal Facebook just saying, hey, like, how can I, you know, get some help maybe trying to locate these people? It was just amazing. It was over 200,000 shares. And then people were literally posting, I think this is the person. The date matched and the name matched. And then she contacted me. And, you know, even now it's hard for me not to get emotional about it because you just tell, like, you know, it's not the monetary value. It's not that. It's what it means to this couple. You know, it's their wedding ring. And I could tell how joyous the family was, how happy they are. And so just to feel all those feelings, like it was, like I teared up talking to them. The ring is back with the family and it just has a really happy ending.
Okay, that's lovely. Sometimes the internet is terrible. I mean, most times it's terrible, but sometimes it's fantastic. Keith said that people were saying, oh, I recognize the design. It must be Italian. Let me help you translate. I'll help you find the family. It took a village to make that happen. That is a national for May the 16th. Thank you for being with us. Have a good night.